Hi, we're at Sussex University. What are your pronouns?
She, her.
What age should someone be allowed to?
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Did this man just say his pronouns are he, her? This world is done. Let us continue.
Socially transition?
Oh, this. I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? What are your pronouns?
She, they?
I don't actually have a clue. What does she, they mean?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm just not entirely comfortable with the she, her pronouns, but also I don't feel like asking people to call me they, them, so it's just easier.
What age should someone be allowed to socially transition?
18? Well, socially. Any age they want.
So, for example, 8-year-old boy starts running around in girls' clothes, identifying as female, maybe even asked to be called Jane, for example. Is that okay?
I think so, yeah.
And what age should someone be allowed to start transitioning medically? What age should they be allowed to get surgery?
I think that should be between them and their doctor for the most part, because everyone has a different life situation, everyone matures at a different rate.
But what age? Would an 8-year-old be allowed to do that should an 8-year-old or 10 or even 11 or 12-year-old be allowed to do that with a doctor?
Hormonally speaking, 8-year-old boys and girls are essentially the same. So at that age, I think they can put in hormone blockers to reduce the rate of puberty at that age. I don't know too much about it.
No, that's fine.
The West is completely finished, and this is going on in the big countries like England, America, Canada, etc., etc. All the big Western countries. This rubbish is going on in those countries. This woman said she doesn't even know the intricacies that go into changing your gender, even though you can't change your gender. She doesn't even know about it. She doesn't even know what a they them is, but yet she calls herself a they them. She doesn't know what goes into transitioning, even though you can't transition, but what goes into medically transitioning, but she's saying that they should be able to do it. These are university students. This is on a university campus in England, and the same thing happens in America, and it's absolutely crazy that this is the rubbish that's going on in society today.
Fine, so I'm learning as I go. You mentioned puberty blockers, so stopping the developmental path to allow them to decide. So an 8-year-old could go on puberty blockers, for example, to then go on to decide later.
Yeah,
Would you be okay with that?
I would, yeah.
Before we get back into the video, I need all of you to turn on your post notifications so that you get notified when one of my videos come out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video if you enjoyed the video, comment down below. I'll try and reply to as many comments as possible, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. Let's get back into the video.
What about trans women, so biological men, is that correct? Trans women being in female safe spaces.
Yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
It seems to be a large part of the feminist movement that fought very hard for years for whatever they thought was important, and of course most decent people would support that. So how do you feel about, for example, taking the extreme, i.e. socially in bathrooms, to trans women in prisons, in female prisons for example? Should they be allowed in female prisons?
I think so, yeah.
Why?
Because they're women.
This is the result of allowing people to do what they want, and as long as you're happy, do what you want, and we're all individuals, and what the other person does doesn't affect me. That's the biggest lie that has been sold to society, that what your neighbor does doesn't affect you, when it really does. This woman really said she would allow a biological man to go into female prisons, and we're seeing cases of this where they are identifying as women and going into female prisons and doing some very, very crazy things when they go into these prisons. And people like this woman over here are allowing things like that to happen.
What about the feminist argument that say that that's not true?
Well,
And that
that's not intersectional feminism. Intersectional feminism is accepting everyone, male, female, whoever, we are all equal.
Okay, fantastic. And you said your pronouns are she, they.
Yes.
Can you define what a woman is? I'm learning as I go with the pronouns, sorry.
A person that identifies as a woman, I suppose.
So when you say identifies, do you mean feels? I.e., so for example, you can clearly see I'm a male.
Yeah.
Hope so anyway. If I wake up tomorrow morning and want to identify as a woman, can I do that?
Yes.
And that would make me a woman.
Yes.
What are your pronouns?
She, her. She, her. She, they.
I'm gonna pause it right here because it's funny which ones were saying she, her, and then it gets to the last person out of the three of these women. And look at the person who decides to say their pronouns are she, they. I always say this in all my videos, but they always have a look. Even her friends were confused, but they always have a look. And people will say, Yinka, you're judging, and once again, yes, I am.
What does she, they mean?
It means that I can go in between the gender spectrum. I usually use she, her pronouns, but I don't really care for certain stereotypes within gender, so I can fluctuate between more masculine and feminine aspects of my personality.
Okay, understood. And we're learning a lot more about this. Do I present as a male? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
Right? And that's not judgmental. I would be perceived as a male.
Yeah.
What defines a woman? Based on what you've just said, we're curious to know what defines a woman.
I think that, woman is a gender, the female is the sex. I think a woman is an individual that presents themselves as a very strong and proud person, someone that is very independent.
One second. Hiya. Would you like to join the interview? What, me or it? Do you have any thoughts on men being in public bathrooms or sports? Should that be allowed?
What do you mean about men shouldn't be allowed in female bathrooms?
Yeah, the feminist movement that says they fought for what they fought for.
People with they them pronouns being in a girl's toilet or something like.
Anyone. So a trans woman is a biological male. Is that correct?
They're cis male, but they are a woman. They are a woman, a trans person.
I mean, this debate is you never know where to draw the line. You never know how far it is. If someone's transitioning from male to female, but they make no effort to transition. They've got a beard, they don't shave their beard, they don't they still wear boys' clothes or something. If they,
I'm confused. What effort is it that they need to make to transition to become a female? I thought the whole idea was once they identify as a woman, they should be able to become a woman. Why do they have to make efforts to look like a woman? What does a woman look like if I was to ask these people that question? Because that would be the question I would ask them. Because according to these people, I thought this was all social construct and we just constructed what a woman dresses like. Why do they have to make an effort to abide by the social constructs according to them that we created? Why can't they identify as a woman and stay looking like a man? And that's why I say these people are so confused, so stupid. And I'll reiterate it once again, these people are university, college students.
where if they made no effort to transition, but they just say they're a female, then it's what do you think about that? It's I think people are sometimes a little bit too open, and then it's just.
I don't think that it's necessarily anyone's business for how someone.
I think it is complicated. That's what I'm saying because
it's so hard to know where to draw the line and where's
There's more cisgender straight males that cause conflict in the world than transgender people. I'm sorry, they are the most respectful people I've ever met in my entire life, and I have such the utmost respect and care for all my friends who are trans, and they should be able to fit in this world that they feel respected in. And
that's just good. That's just good manners, though. I'm talking about. That's just good manners, isn't it? You and I were brought up with good manners, hopefully.
I grew up in a very conservative, I grew up in Southeast Asia, and it's extremely conservative, so these kinds of topics are not spoken about or cared about. It's illegal to be gay. You get more time in prison for having gay sex than you would for homicide.
Which country is that?
Myanmar.
So you've seen that side of it in Asia. Yeah. Okay, so in terms of that last question, so trans women, so biological men in women's spaces and prisons, for example, should that be allowed or should that not be allowed? Should they be in a male prison rather than a woman's prison?
A trans woman should never be put in a male prison. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's really dangerous for them.
Not. They are fetishized and they are.
Were you asking about trans women or
trans women being?
It's funny how amongst the three of these women, two of them have different views to the one who has the blonde short hair. The one with the blonde short hair and the tattoos has totally different opinions to the other two, and you can see that in this conversation, and it's very interesting to see that all three of them are friends, but the other two seem to have different opinions to the one with the tattoo. And I always say this, they always have a certain look.
Being in a female prison.
Yeah, that's fine.
They are women.
They have that in Orange Is the New Black, don't they?
Yeah, they are women. They would the amount of abuse and violence that they would face in a men's only prison. That is, it's basically just suggesting you are not actually a woman, you are a man. They are women. They are more women than I am.
Still a woman, because if you're just
They're more women than you are.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you? Okay.
like, if you
Well-
put them in a male prison, it's just like you're not just because they're biologically. Wait, what was it?
So
What, transitioning to a woman?
yeah, trans women,
If
so
they're
biological
biologically
male.
male and you put them in a prison, you're not just offending them. It's not just like putting them in that box. You're putting every single transitioning person into that box. If that makes sense.
Really need to go out train.
No worries, you've been most generous. Thank you so much, guys.
Those three people were absolutely confused. As I said a few seconds ago, they always have a certain look, and the one who was pushing hard against all this trans rubbish and LGBT, ABCDEFGQ rubbish was the one with a certain look. These people genuinely said that a trans woman, which is a biological male, should be able to go into female prisons. And this is happening in today's society, and we're seeing when they allow that to happen, there's been some crazy things that the trans women, aka men, have done to the women in the female prisons. But these people think it's okay, apparently. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.